We talked about the ASEAN visa earlier this morning. Let's discuss that further with Tourism Secretary Christina Frasco, now joining us via Zoom. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Matters.
Hello, Gretchen. Good morning. I'm Bunta.
Hi, Secretary, tell us all about the ASEAN visa. How different is this already from the framework agreement of the ASEAN on visa exemption? Who thought about this proposal?
Gretchen, the ASEAN visa was asked as a question during the SCIFT forum that I attended in Bangkok. And the question was framed in a manner that had indicated that nations are now expressing interest in terms of supporting the ASEAN visas. It has been talked about for a while. And my answer was that the Philippines has been quite supportive of this idea, recognizing the opportunities for countries in the ASEAN to come together, consolidate our unparalleled natural assets, our unforgettable cultural and heritage experiences, and of course, the warmth of the ASEAN peoples as a force, an economic force for tourism to provide jobs to our peoples, and as a force for good to bridge divides and to foster cultural understanding. This position we have taken consistently in the ASEAN meetings that we have attended, and we're hopeful that it will again come up in the ASEAN meetings here in the Philippines. Of course, within the confines of the ASEAN region, we are not required to get visas amongst each other's nations. But for those visa required countries coming to our respective nations, what the ASEAN visa would provide is the convenience of simply obtaining one visa to be able to visit one jurisdiction to another. On the side of the Philippines, we view this as a way to gain advantage, especially with our geographical disadvantage of being an archipelagic nation that requires 99% of our international visitors to come in via air travel. And so with the ASEAN visa, we anticipate that the hurdles of coming into the country can be allayed by the convenience of just obtaining one to visit the entire region. We are also working very closely with Thailand, specifically for our formalized partnership on the two countries, one destination, recognizing their successes in terms of ushering in the numbers of tourists, and of course also the Philippines' successes in terms of quality tourism, our excellence in hospitality, and our diversified cultural tourism experiences.
Tama po kayo, hindi po tulad ng ibang bansa katulad ng Laos and Cambodia, you can go in via land travel. So I do understand the geographical challenges of the Philippines. But there are fears that an ASEAN visa might strengthen criminal activity within the region, also risk national security. That was brought up by former immigration chief and Cagayan de Oro Representative Rufus Rodriguez. And sinabi po niya na this will allow Chinese tourists who are actually spies to get ASEAN visas in Chinese client states like Cambodia and Laos. Now, even the liberal visa granted by Thailand to Chinese citizens to come to the Philippines, and they will automatically be admitted under the ASEAN visa scheme. What do you say to that?
First, Congressman Rufus Rodriguez is one whom I deeply respect and admire, and he has been very supportive of our initiatives in the Department of Tourism. Any effort to open up one's borders to international travel, of course, comes with both risks as well as rewards. As far as rewards go, international tourism brings in so much to our economy, 760 billion pesos to be exact in 2024. It employs over 16 million Filipinos as a composite of domestic and international tourism and a host of other benefits. On the aspect of risks, there are, of course, geopolitical risks, there are security risks, but none of these should be sacrificed in terms of our opening up to the country. And that is why, for us, the putting up of an ASEAN visa should not in any way compromise national security. And so we trust that our intelligence agencies, our immigration, as well as our international border patrol, law enforcement will ensure that the only people that they will allow into the country are those that are legitimate tourists, as that is whom the Department of Tourism wishes to attract and not any other international visitors.
Well, if ever, who will be the governing body in charge of enforcing that visa? Uh, Meron po bang ano na, at what stage is that proposal in? Is it just an idea or is there actual movement to making that happen and turn into reality?
My understanding is that this conversation has been on the table for quite some time. With that, I'm not aware of any resolutions that have been passed to formalize the ASEAN visa, nor of any guidelines that have indicated exactly which would be the governing body. So if I am able to come to more information after the ASEAN meetings next year, I'll be sure to provide updates.
Okay, Secretary, let's go to our tourism numbers. So what's the update on that? Last year in 2024, we missed the target of 7.7 million international visitor arrivals. The Philippines achieved 5.6 million. How about for 2025? What are the targets and how are we doing right now?
Gretchen, in 2024, the Philippines received over 5.9 million international visitors. And while admittedly this fell short of the 7.7 million international visitors originally projected, we recognize that the 2 million projected numbers from China, which we had anticipated as a result of the implementation of the e-visa, really brought down these projected numbers since the e-visa was suspended by the Department of Foreign Affairs, and they have more stringent rules in terms of Chinese tourists coming into the country. That being said, while the warm bodies that came into the country were lower than what was projected, certainly the tourism spending coming out of the 5.9 million international visitors allowed us to exceed our targets for 2024 in terms of international visitor receipts. As a matter of fact, having received 760 billion pesos from international visitors allowed for the Philippines to recover at a rate of 126% from our pandemic numbers. What is the consequence of exceeding our targets for visitor receipts and reaching this historic number for the country? The consequence is more jobs, more livelihood, more employment for the Filipino people. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, at its peak, tourism employed 16.4 million Filipinos in 2024. Taking into account seasonality and other such factors, the labor force survey indicated that it did not go below over 9 million. These numbers would indicate that our recalibration of Philippine tourism into a destination that is multidimensional, diversified, as well as gives value to quality and sustainable tourism is resulting in a Philippine tourism experience that is providing low impact yet high value to our tourists as well as to our destinations. And most importantly, employing as many Filipinos as we can and as many as there have been as far as historic tourism data is concerned.
Well, Secretary, I feel like there's a lot to talk about initiatives of the Department of Tourism, but we don't have a lot of time on the show. It's already 9 o'clock. Maybe next time we can talk about the other initiatives of the Department of Tourism. But before we go, I'd just like to ask for your reaction on the President asking all Cabinet Secretaries to submit their courtesy resignations today, saying that it is time to realign government with the people's expectations and focus on results after the recent elections. What are your reactions to that, and will you be submitting yours?
Well, we all serve at the pleasure of the President, and it is a privilege to serve our nation in the interest of accountability and transparency. We await, of course, the official advice from the Executive Secretary, and we would be, I myself, am ready to present the courtesy resignation, knowing that the transformation we have given to the tourism industry is one that has employed millions of Filipinos, contributed a lot to our nation, and has led to the transformation of the Philippines into a destination to love.
Did this surprise you? Did this announcement from the president?
I'm learning about this as you are, and we are in continued collaboration with our fellow government agencies to make sure that the work goes on, as that is our top priority, to make sure that we fulfill the duties that have been mandated of us.
Okay, maraming salamat po for your time today, and then we hope to dig in deeper into the work of the Department of Tourism. But that's it for this morning. Maraming salamat for joining us today to talk about your work and more over at the DOT. We have Tourism Secretary Christina Frasco joining us this morning.
Salamat.